Welcome back to Northamptonshire Football Podcast, episode 18. We've got Dean and Luke here from Raunds. Lads, how are you getting on? You alright?
Yeah, good, thanks.
Thanks for coming in. And obviously Sam's with me. Sam, you alright?
Yeah, not too bad, mate.
Good man. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your football this week, Sam? Been up to much?
I think the two best people to tell you about my week in football are sitting just here, mate.
Yeah.
To be honest.
I mean, you not done anything else?
Just a normal training sessions and bits and bobs. All the things that keep you busy as usual.
Yeah. Okay, then so we'll jump straight in. Obviously, your game at Chenix there. 1-0 loss. What's your initial reaction to it after the game? What was you thinking?
It was frustrating because I think we played really well, went toe to toe with a team that's third in the league, only lost 4 times all season, one of them being to us right at the start of the season. And I think we were very unlucky not to come away with a point at least. They scored from a bit of a fluky cross. So yeah, it was disappointing not to come away with anything, but it's another step in the right direction. Because like I said, we're competing against a team that's third in the league, so it's really good.
Yeah. How would you say the game played out? Was it sort of, was you win the game? Was it? I know it's only 1-0, so it sounds like you're in the game. But yeah. I mean, did Chenix have more of the ball, or did you have chances? Or
it's fairly even, would you say?
Yeah, I agree. I think more of the story for us at the minute is we're from the start of the season we were getting popped 5-6s by these top teams, but now it's closer games, and I think in terms of the ball, I think it was quite even. I think the difference between us and the top teams at the minute is when they get into the right areas, they tend to punish us, whereas we're quite naive and lose the ball. And like we say, that's the moral of the story at the minute for us.
Mm. So you got obviously Tam United reserves at the weekend. Would it be a sort of similar setup?
Without giving away too much, probably, yeah. yeah. We'll set up the same. We set up every game. We set up to win.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who it comes against. We set up every game to win. So yeah, that's what we're going for.
What did you make of the game that Saturday? Were you
exactly the same as the gaffer? It was just nice to see, obviously, Kenny Kwarteng, one of my former lads, who's played a couple of times for us now.
Yeah.
And I think he's done quite well, and he's come on, done a job.
Yeah, done well.
And obviously he's buzzing about that. And Chester's lost his out game, to be fair.
Yeah. Fair play. Obviously, what we're going to do, we're going to have a little look at your 2 careers and how it sort of led you to become managers of Raunds there. Was there much of a playing career? I did try and have a look, but I couldn't find that.
They're still playing, you cheeky fuckers.
No, I mean, sorry, prior to Raunds, obviously, I seen there was, were you both at Corby Town?
Yeah.
How did that go?
Yeah, that was good to be fair. So I started off in the academy from under 17, so I joined when I was 16. Dean, obviously a year younger than me, so he joined a year after. The first year was really good, and then that's when I met Dean in the second year. The rest is history, really. Yeah.
Could you not tell why Dean knows Corby accent?
Yeah, no, I think obviously the youth academy setup was good for us. I mean, when I first joined, obviously a year after Luke, we come in and there was Tommy right there, and Corby were in the National League at that point. And when I actually come in, I was a centre mid. Would you believe that? And I got converted in a centre half because I couldn't fucking move.
So things don't change.
But no, it was really good for us, and I think playing football every day. I mean, we used to do a bit of coaching in the schools as well, so it was a case we'd train in the day, go straight to a school, coach, and then me and him would be on our 06 plate courses, doing it together to go up and ask.
Not too much has changed.
No. But then in terms of obviously moving into the men's team and stuff, Luke was already in there with Tommy Wright, and obviously towards when I come in and a bit later after that, I got really unlucky with injuries. I mean, he was begging to tell you that he's got a couple of vaps in the National League.
4 actually, 4 in the conference now.
But no, it was really good for us. So then something happened with Tommy Wright. He ended up going to Neaton, and then after that, Kinney came in, didn't he, from Kettering, and I think we could both agree he's probably one of the best managers we've worked. And for me, Dex, when we broke in, it was purely down to injuries. I mean, being in the academy, getting invited to first team training, and then I think when I first come in and I first played, there was a couple of injuries to the defenders, and I was at Harbour Resi at the time, and then you get thrown in playing in front of 500-600, and expected to perform because the Corby fans are great, but when you get on the wrong side of them, it's it's tough, but no, it was a really good experience for us. I mean, being in a changing room with older heads, people who've been there, done it. I mean, if we go back, there was Jamie Anton, Paul Malone, Stephen Leslie, and they were really good for us. And I think that's helped us within the management side, because we sort of saw different leaders in the dressing room, how they've done it, and we've sort of put it into one. And you know, that's what we're sort of doing now, but having those older heads. And it's tough because when you're there, I mean, Deggers can vouch for probably before when I was in the first team at Corby, but the older lads, they put an arm around you when you need, but also when you need a finger up your arse, it's sort of, they're onto you like that, and the pressure's on, do you know what I mean? You're expected to perform every week, because like I said, the Corby fans, they're really good, but they demand performances.
Yeah, that's the thing, Corby fans were brilliant, because as long as you get 100%, the Corby fans love you. That was what I liked about being a Corby.
Nice. What was it like then? Obviously, you're saying you get thrown in there at the deep end, expected to perform. What was the sort of, obviously, it would have been a step up in standard. Was it what you was expecting?
For me, it was quite difficult, to be honest, because I sort of, you know, got thrown in there to like a big league difference, and like you say, you're playing in front of all these people, and I got off to a slow start. Yeah, I think it was the first game at league. The guy's gone down the side of me, he's crossed it, and I stuck one on him and gave a penalty away, and then you've got to sort of, you know, react to that.
Something's definitely that change.
And you've got to sort of react to that and not fold, and I think having that has obviously made me a better player, and obviously having that experience behind you, because I mean, the younger lads nowadays, you know, in that situation, they tend to fold, but having those people around you, you sort of regroup. But after game, I was, you know, still getting thrown in, still getting a run of games, and it just gave me more and more confidence. And I think that's where Kinney came in massively, because even though you're making these mistakes, he was very honest with you, but he also put an arm around you as well, where he could have been on you, and he potentially could have ruined my career. And, you know, I mean, there was another game after that. At half time, I think we were 3-0 down. He's been grilling us for 15 minutes at half time to not concede. They've played a shorter kick-off, turned it in behind, and I've headed it home, and keepers, I hold him against it, Dan Smith to this day. He is in no man's land, and it's gone in, honestly.
You got hooked, didn't you?
Yeah.
Didn't they end up winning the game?
Yeah.
From 3-0 down, they won the game when Dio came off.
Super sub from me. But no, it was really good, and again, having that experience behind us was massive. And then I think, obviously, a new season came, Kinney went, and I think as players, you know, when you're not sort of in the fold, that's when I think you got loaned out a couple of weeks before to Raunds. We got loaned out, had half a season there, really enjoyed it, to be fair. Again, and the thing is, when we were at Corby, you looked at the UCL teams, and UCL Div 1 sides, and you thought, well, I don't want to be there. Like, you sort of not really experienced it, and you want to be looking upwards. But I think it was a good reality check to obviously go back down and play in the UCL. I mean, me and Dex were speaking earlier, obviously looking to bring players in and stuff. And when I was younger, all I wanted to do was play. I mean, we're having lads 18, 19 years old, played a few games in the combo, asking for 100 bob a game. And it's these younger lads nowadays, it's not all about money. Like, you have to get out there and go and play.
Just go and play. Just go and play.
I think the things that you described kind of that have come through as your career, I think is really, really obvious now you say it in the dressing rooms when I'm with you both. So like putting the arm around the shoulder, bleeding the young kids in, bollocking when needed, but then obviously giving a little cuddle after. Now you said it, both of you were like poster boys of exactly what you just said. You both do exactly the same. Which is good to hear, because obviously from my point of view, learning experience for me with you guys, and I'm presuming it's vice versa in that sense. We both, all three of us, learn from each other. And I think the things that I bring in and the things you bring in are totally different, so it works so well.
It all comes from experiences. All the experiences that you had, like when I was younger, I had players that were ex-pros, obviously, from when Corby were in the conference. Players that were ex-pros, like, they'd shout in your face, they'd tell you do this, do that, and then 5 minutes later, they're having a laugh and a joke with you. Like, that's just the reality of it. Like, they're serious, but they know when you need that helping hand as well. Really good. Really good,
When was it, obviously your playing career then, when was it, obviously loaned out to Raunds. When did you sort of realise that you want to be managers?
But I mean,
hang on, that's a big step from there to there, isn't it, mate? It's a huge jump there.
A bit in between, to be fair. So obviously, we've got.
Do you know what you forgot to mention? What's that? The old management career at the academy.
Oh yeah. So I came back from. I tore my ACL. I came back to Corby's academy, and then that season was done. I can't remember what happened. Did you boys have a game? I thought I was too old to play, and they didn't have a manager for some reason. Was Kinney away or something? So I said I'll just do it just for a laugh, and then I actually ended up enjoying it. Yeah. So Kinney said, "Do you want to come and do some coaching on the side?" I was like, "Yeah, okay." We ended up winning the league, so
nice.
I was add that to the CV. Yeah, that was good. Yeah, and then obviously at Raunds, the management thing, it literally just came out of the blue. Obviously we've been playing for I joined when I was 18, 19, 24 now, so that's a good period of time. And we had no sort of incentive or thought to manage at all. It was literally just play, and then it came up and
I mean it's been a bit of a crazy season for us, to be honest, and that's the moral of the story at Raunds for the past couple of years. It's been quite tough every year. It's always a different management team, massive changes around the club, and like I say, Raunds has always been known as the shitters, and we'll happily admit that. You know, Raunds have always been known as a team, and most teams will probably say in our league now, but you're going to go get points at Raunds. So it's like you say, I'll tell you the story actually, because it's quite a good one. And we'll call Lawrence out. So we were playing Holmer Green. Obviously, we beat Chennick's first game of the season. Everyone was buzzing. Pre-season was mental, wasn't it?
I mean, fair play, that was the fittest I've ever been in my whole career. The fittest I've ever been, and they absolutely ran us into the ground.
Yeah, the assistant Kev, he was unbelievable. I mean, I think I had a six-pack for the first time in my life.
What happened to it, mate?
Daggers came in. No, but he did run us to the ground, so we got that win, all happy days, and we went on a bit of a rot. We had Holmer Green at home, losing 1-0, and the gaffer, so Lawrence turned around and must have been 85th, 86th minute, subbed himself on. So honestly, he's stiffer than me and Daggers combined.
No, you're pretty fucking stiff, Dino, let's not have that.
Cross has come in, sliced one, nearly wrapped one in our own top bins. And then honestly, he's coming after the game, we're all sitting there like obviously distraught, just lost 1-0 to Holmer Green. He's come around individually, shook everyone's hand, cheers, thanks, and he's like, yeah, I'm resigning. And we're all a bit like shell-shocked. I mean, I haven't spoke to him since the day, obviously I know Days has had a couple of messages from him, and then we had Real Bedford in the cup that week. So me and Deg sort of said, look, we'll try like steady the ship sort of thing, just so we can get out and get the game. Lost 9-1. And I think we were just massively distraught after that, you know, like taking it, we had like a little buzz between us, and having that sort of like thrown in your face, like, Real Bedford, we all know the money they pay, and trying to compete with them and stuff, but we were miles off it.
The best thing about that was it couldn't get any worse.
The only way is it? Exactly.
If it was a team like mid-table or near the bottom, you know, you'd think, this might not be for us, but it was like, you know, it can't get, and to be fair, until they beat us 9-0 in the reverse fixture, it didn't get any worse.
A couple of weeks, we sort of stayed in it sort of thing, added a few new lads, because Lauro sort of brought in his lads, and then I think a couple of weeks after that, they offered us like the job permanently, which was obviously something we wanted to do, but I think when you have that like general excitement, but then you don't realise what comes with it, you think obviously not really been managers, so it was sort of like, yeah, we'll do it, and then we've got this to do, as well as working, as well as keeping your missus happy, and
did that hit you straight away? Obviously, when they asked you, you said, yeah, we'll do it, or was it when you got home and sat down, you realised?
No, we didn't need to think, did we?
Well, I was more
You didn't need to think.
I was
You
more.
don't think anyway.
Dino was more like, yeah, let's do it. And I was more like, I don't know, because I wanted to play, because I've been out for. I tore my cartilage last season. I was playing 6 months last season from January to the end of the season. Relegation scrap with half a knee. So I just wanted to play, and I was like, do it, and then Dino, he convinced me to be fair. And I'll be honest with you, it's a good decision. I'm loving it.
Well, am I right in saying you were one of the youngest managers in the
Yeah,
country?
well,
We were.
Well, you can tell BBC to fucking do one. We were the fucking youngest, and I've gone and sucked Sammy Mould off. So for BBC, everyone in the viewer.
So Sammy Mould actually have been relegated, chaps. They got relegated on Saturday, so...
He's got the cup final, so keep your mouth shut.
Fair play to him though. I was in 21 managers set forth. Fair play. No,
I think he's been in around the club for a long time. I think he's been around since he was like 16. So they kind of know him so well, just like Raunds know you guys.
Yeah, no, we're only messing around.
Yeah.
You know, big respect to whoever does it, and it's like you say, when you do go into management, it's all the things that come with it. I mean, obviously, I was really naive and saying to Deggers, "Come on, let's just do it." But until you see that, and the tough thing for us is a lot of the lads at Raunds are our mates.
Yeah.
So it was that side of. I mean, when we first come in and sort of spoke to the lads, it was like, yeah, you're our mates, but at the end of the day, if we don't get results, then we're the ones who, you know, get kicked out the back door. So it was a massive reality check in that sense. And again, with Raunds over the years, the Resis and the first team have always been separate. So it was starting the project from the start. I mean, you're playing against teams who've had a pre-season, all this sort of stuff, and we're starting fresh. And it's, again, when we go into like sponsorships, if you look around our club, around the pitch, we have 2 Betway sponsors that have been there for 5 years. This is me.
Yeah, it's somewhat lacklustre, isn't it?
Yeah. But yeah, it's a good job. I'm enjoying it.
In regards to players that weren't your mates, I'm going to talk about one player that I really love off, and I'm going to fucking go for it anyway. So you brought in Ryan Lavelle from Whitworths.
Yeah. Lovell, not Lavelle. He'll fucking happy for
Well, you got to mention that's fucking enough, isn't it?
Yeah.
Class player.
Class, mate, honestly.
Just class to have him around the dressing room.
Class to have him around the dressing room, his leadership on the pitch, his quality, he scores goals, just everything about him. He's like, literally, if you had 11 Ryan Levels, if you had 11 Ryan Levels, you'd be absolutely sound. Like, his attitude off the pitch, on the pitch, he's the nicest bloke, like, you know.
I mean, to be fair, I think he proved that on Saturday. Like, things absolutely love him.
Yeah.
Love him, Ryan, right now, because obviously, if you've seen it, guys, through our Twitter, Ryan walked him out on the pitch and made the most of him, looked after him the whole day, and
that's brilliant.
It's just top class from him, isn't it? I've been at other clubs where some players are not so good at that.
Exactly.
But he's just class at that.
Exactly. And he's an example of what we're trying to build in the team. Like, just good, honest players that just want to work hard for the team.
And you brought in that Sunday League top scorer as well. I presume he's one of your mates as well, isn't it? Corey
B. Yeah, Corey B. To be fair to him, he was playing, Combo Div 2 last season.
Wow.
And he probably scored 50-60 goals there. So, you know, he gave it a go pre-season. We thought after the first week that he was going to pop it off, weren't he? But to be fair to him, he stuck to it.
And he scored that worldie the other week.
Scored the worldie the other week, the winner. He's another one of those where he's just a good, honest lad. Like that. I know he won't like me saying this, but he's not the fittest. But he will work his bollocks off. So yeah, that's what you want, you know.
He's got a strange running technique, hasn't he?
No comment. I didn't know he runs.
That's the kettle calling the fucking pot that.
Yeah, so yeah, that's literally it. Just having the team. That's the example. That's the type of players that we want to bring in.
And obviously, one other player we got to touch on is obviously got to be George, in it.
George Anthony, just put it out there.
Yeah, don't talk about it. Don't
want to talk about it too much, but that guy is the best goalkeeper in the league, and that's not a joke. He's the best goalkeeper.
100%, and he's only just turned 18, Jordan.
Yeah. One more to add, I think, as well is Callum Trainer as well.
Yeah.
He obviously moved to Raunds and gave us a message to come over and stuff. And I think, like Deggers touched on, most of the lads that were just mentioned are experienced lads who've sort of been there, done it. And it's like I mentioned, Raunds in the past couple of years have always been a young side, a young naive side. So to be able to bring these sort of experienced heads in. I mean, 23, 24, we're still young lads ourselves, but to bring them in and have that control on the pitch has definitely helped the team massively, because it's obviously loads of young lads have opinions, have strops, but having them all on when we do at the same time is massive for us.
Yeah. I think, I was going to say, I think a big thing for us as managers, I think what we've done is learn from the mistakes of past managers.
Yeah.
I think, last season, it's through no fault of anyone's, but I was one of the oldest players, apart from Joe Chubb. Joe Chubb was...
Joe Chubb's going to outlive all of us at that club, I'm telling you that for free.
That guy's about 70 years old.
But can still outrun you, though.
Still outrun me, yeah.
And he's not as stiff as you.
But then you take Chubb out of the equation. I was one of the oldest players, and I was 23 and 22 last season. Do you know what I mean?
Wow.
So we were the most experienced players, and that put a lot of pressure on us last season. So we thought, obviously, one of the main tasks for us to do is obviously bring in experience. That's something that managers before us haven't really done, to be honest with you. And then you look across the squad. We brought in Trainer, brought in Lovell.
So we had Cam Harris as well.
Cam Harris, he's only 23, but he's been about the leagues for a good few
only
years.
23.
He's only 23, yeah. So that's just us trying to do different to what hasn't really been, if that makes sense.
And it's noticeable from my kind of point of view that when you brought in more experienced players, it took the pressure off. And I'm going to call you out on your team. It took the pressure off you a little bit.
Yeah, massive.
And now, in the last 6 games, I think you've probably been one of our best players on the pitch.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that, because it took the pressure off you. You can play your game rather than having to think of everything else.
Yeah, and I think that's been, the problem for a few years. I think, as a player, I can admit when I've, been bad, or I'll happily admit when I've been good, but you always are worrying about covering someone else's arse, and then your head's too focused on there. You lose a bit in your game, and we're still young, we're still learning. It's like you say, you're happy to admit when you've been bad, but definitely bringing in those older heads and having that extra voice on the pitch massively helps.
What Level's high pitch voice? Yeah. Have we all noticed that one? Yeah.
He was the one screaming on Saturday, wasn't he?
It's a bit high pitch.
Walking around the pitch, and I was thinking, who's that? I can't wait.
Definitely Level.
The more pissed off he gets, the
The
harder
harder
it
it
is. So by the end of the game, it was fucking like a woman.
Obviously, you sound like you obviously enjoyed your time there at Raunds. When you did take over, was it a sort of, what's your plan now? Is it you see the season out, or have you got a longer term plan than that?
Yeah, definitely a long-term plan. Yeah, definitely a long-term plan. Personally, that's me speaking for myself, I want to be playing. So obviously this season, I think I've had to definitely take on more of a managerial role than a player role. I've played 3 times this season.
And that's since I've come in.
Since
I keep pushing you on. Oh, Gaffer, get yourself on.
Yeah. So that's one of the reasons we brought Sam in as well, obviously, so I can do a bit more of the playing. But yeah, definitely longer term, do a bit more playing than managing. But at the same time, I'm loving managing. I'm absolutely loving it. So
Yeah, no, I think from a brutal point of view, unfortunately for us at Raunds, we're limited to certain resources, and all these clubs have, and I say it again, big sponsorships, big intake. With us, if I'm being honest, we're sort of surviving on rations and stuff. Where I think if we did get a few sponsors around the pitch, a few sponsors within the club, I think it would help us massively. And with us, we don't just want to, this is a project, this is something we want to do. If it doesn't go well, at least me and Degs, and Sam can turn around and say, we've tried, but we want to bring the community back. We're getting attendances of 50, 60, and for us, it's good, but it's not good enough.
Better than the Tigers, isn't it? I mean, did they get choices? 8.
So we want to look at different ways we can get the community back involved, because I feel like that there's a hold back between them, and we are trying to look at ways, whether it's going in schools and giving tickets, looking at local sponsors within the community of Raunds, but
we've got the programme looking ready now as well, because we can put spots in there too, can't we?
Yeah.
So.
Is there obviously you two speak passionate about it, is there people within the club that are looking to, have got that same aim as well though? Obviously, because look at Raunds now, I was over Raunds a few years ago working, And I mean, that area it's up and coming. They've got all them warehouses and stuff that gone on. There's loads of businesses in there that could help out.
Yeah, no.
Is there anyone in the club that's sort of reaching out to these?
I think obviously at the start of the season we had Darren Stanleyforth come in. He's done a really good job helping us out, and then obviously you've got the chairwoman Leslie and the chairman David, and they do a lot of work around the club helping us out. So I think
most of the clubs have like a specific fundraising
yeah, and that's
person,
what I mean.
don't
It's
they?
sort of finding roles for each other, but because we're so, like you say, passionate about it, we want to help out. Like we want to find different ways we can get sponsors in, and like you rightly said, it's up and coming. It's massive. The Raunds has always been a sleeping giant. It's just been waiting for someone to come in and, you know, add to it. And obviously we're just looking for the right person. Like you say, we're young lads, and trying to find that person or the people to help is the most difficult. We're not been around non-league for years in terms of a managerial sense. We don't know sponsors that are willing to come across and stuff. So it is trying to look at different ways that we can get people involved in the club and involved in our project. I mean, if we had someone, we'd happily sit down and explain our plans to them, and I can assure you they probably would jump on board with us.
Yeah, because they are massive plans, to be fair.
Yeah.
Obviously, take this opportunity to say, obviously, if you are listening and you do want to fancy sponsoring Raunds, get in touch with the lads, because obviously the club needs a decent club. I mean, your bar's decent as well.
I can agree with that.
Just while we're there on that one, guys, is where can they find you on socials? Is it individual or is it a team, or
what's that for?
if they want to get in contact?
So you can message the club account, or you can message me and Luke individually.
I think it's all on Instagram and Twitter. We'll put that in the description of the podcast for you as well.
Yeah, that's cool. Thank you.
Just jumping back then, obviously. I just wanted to touch on your last manager there, Lawrence. What was the reason for him leaving? Was it a bit of?
I think she.
Take a big deep breath before you start bitching, mate.
No, to be honest with you, it was a lot of different reasons.
Pre-season was good though, wasn't it, Steve?
Pre-season was really good. Like I said, hands down, it was the best pre-season I've ever been involved with in terms of getting myself ready. I could have played 90 minutes, no problem, first game of the season. But yeah, with Lauro and Kev, I think, like I said, it was a couple of different reasons. I know there was personal stuff going on behind the scenes.
Were they travelling a distance?
They were travelling from, I think it was Huntingdon sort of way, so that's sort of down the A14. They're travelling quite a bit of distance, obviously personal stuff can't go into details about. So there was a lot, and fair play to them, because they were good lads, and they did get. I've spoken to Laura before this, and I said, look, I owe a lot to what you've brought in terms of players, in terms of getting the foundations of fitness and team ethic and stuff like that. I owe a lot to him. But yeah, I think it was just a bit too much, and obviously the results did not help. I mean, we only lost four on the bounce after the first win of the season, but still, they probably didn't see it moving forward.
I can't imagine that happening now though, with the squad we got. I just can't see us losing 4 on the bounce.
I think from Dana's side, he's a bit too nice of it. Obviously, I'm more brutal. I think from their point of view, there was a meeting at the start of the season with everyone, and Laura had his plans and stuff, and I think he falsely promised on quite a few things. Obviously, I'm not going to go into what he promised, but I think there was a lot of false promises within that. And in my opinion, like you say, the personal reasons are fair enough. I respect that. If someone can't do it for personal reasons, we'd never, go against that. But I think the personal reasons, on top of the false promises and not living up to it, was just
exacerbating the situation a bit.
Because from pre-season to going all this buzzing and doing all right to 4 or 5 games in, you don't just then put a cut on it.
Yeah, it's strange when it's such a short space of time as well, isn't it?
Yeah, without an explanation as well. I mean, we were baffled massively to it, and it's like you say, that massive shell shock to going from that to square one. It was, and for us too as well. Do you know what I mean? We've been about for years.
To be fair, it's a big ask on an experienced manager. No disrespect to you two, so it's a massive ask on not novice managers, because that sounds rude. I don't mean to mean it.
It's facts though.
You see what I'm saying?
There's not many 20-year-olds that get jobs at.
I'll be upfront
step
with you
seven,
boys.
you know what I mean?
If I was thrown in at the deep end and I've got a bit of managerial experience, my house I would have been giving 50p, 5p. You know what I'm saying?
And I think the good things with me and Degs as well is we're honest lads. When we're wrong, we'll hold our hands up and we'll always be honest with lads. I mean, we've personally, had experiences where we've been falsely promised. We'd never do that to anyone. If we think you should be in the reserves, we're first team managers. You listen to us. If we've got it wrong, we've got it wrong. But we'll always be honest with any lads. I mean, there's a couple of lads that have wanted to leave, and we've gone, look, we're not holding you back. If you want to go, you don't want to be at the club. Fair enough.
I can certainly think of a couple.
Yeah. A couple of hundred.
But that's football though. Like if at this level of football, just let players go and play. Like I don't understand some. I'm not going to say any names, but some teams not letting players leave, not letting players join. Do you know what I mean? Like just go and let them play. It's not that serious.
But it's also on the players' attitude as well. Like
one
particular player that we've had this season that didn't got under my skin within about 10 minutes and no longer plays for us.
God, I can't give him a name.
No.
Not mentioned.
No.
No comment.
No comment, Your Honour.
But it's obvious the team morale compared to that particular person and what we've got now. It's not a day, isn't it?
Team morale now is ridiculous what we've got.
I've heard there's a song that gets you going as we're walking out the tunnel, boys. I've just got a feeling.
Sounds special. Sounds special song.
Do you know what? The other game, when I think it was the loss, might have been Wednesday night or Saturday, they actually played all of the live.
Did they actually?
Fucking zero, they did.
Oh, no, they did. They did. Yeah, I lost my head. I said, and the team talking. You hear that fucking song? That's our fucking song. And just to let you know, Jules, when they were all pissed up and they went out for somebody's birthday, they sent me a video at 3 o'clock in the morning. 3 o'clock in the fucking morning. 4 or 5 of them giving it, is this the song, Gaffer? Yeah, it fucking is. But it's all the fun of the fair, Jordan, and I love the fact that the boys take the piss, and that just means that we're all fucking in together. Do you know what I'm saying?
That's what it's about. That's what it's about. I know we all go on about like this song, and like we take the piss, and we call you bold, or we take the piss out of Dino's ears.
Get your knee up and all that shit. Yeah. It's not unnoticed, boys. It's not unnoticed.
They like call me slow and fat or whatever. But honestly, that's like the makings of a good team. You can't work on things on the training pitch. You can't get results. Like the old saying goes. Games are won in the bar, do you know what I mean? Like that, and that's just all about the togetherness.
Oh god, it certainly is a slot, isn't it?
Because at the end of the day, if you don't like the person that's playing next to you, you're not going to run for them. Whereas if you love them and you're fucking best mates with them, you'll fucking run your bollocks off for them.
And that's really prevalent with our team, to be fair.
Massively,
I've not seen us have a go at each other like I have at other teams that I've been at. With other teams, I see them implode all the time.
Yeah.
With us, it just don't happen. We have a little dig at each other for like 30 seconds and then it's all fucking forgotten, it's all done.
That's football, mate. That's football.
So, obviously, as it stands then, you're at Raunds next year.
Yeah.
Obviously, plan for this season, I'd say, I don't know how you lads think.
What's your plans for this season then, George? Yeah.
No, same.
Better be light at us, yeah.
I'd say you're safe at the minute, like.
Nah, it's too little in it.
Well, we're never safe.
Yeah, never safe. Never safe. Exactly. But obviously, objective when we came in was survival. It's still survival now. Yeah. I'd love for it to be done in the next 4 games, and then we could just relax and start building for next season.
Hang on a minute, I'm going to call him out now. I'm sure we said if we're mathematically safe, you can get 5 minutes. Sam. I'm sure we said that.
5 minutes. The only problem is
points for that.
we've got a week to sign you on, Sam. So
it's alright. I'll get some fitness in. I'm sure I'll get in the group, boys. Just saying, I led that group surely. I was dead after that, by the way. I couldn't move for half an hour. I could not move.
Scored an own goal and resign.
Mate, did you not see us cut my head? I trained yesterday with the 18s, went for a header, misjudged it, and it smacked me in the face.
No, but then obviously, have you not even thought about next season? What would you plan with next season? Obviously,
win the league. What are you talking about?
Stay safe.
So if we stay safe, just finish as high as we can next year, go one better. I've always said like I want to go out and win every single game. I'm not saying we're going to do that next year because Real Bedford haven't even done it.
No, fuck Real Bedford, we're winners.
Next year,
but obviously, you get a pre-season under your belt. You've got a good team there. Solid. We all like each other. We're all mates. We all want to work for each other. You get that solid pre-season. You never know where you can end up. So aim as high as you can go and then see where you end up.
Seeing like Corey get a full pre-season under his belt, seeing Giro get a full pre-season under his belt with us,
and it'll be good for us as well because like I mentioned, in previous years, it's always been a change,
Yeah.
a turnover, players coming and going, so it would be nice. I mean, hopefully, when we survive, can build for next season, keep the core and add. That's the thing, adding players.
What's your links with the 18s like for players next season?
I think they should be, to be fair, I've watched the 18s a few times and they're a young
I did
team.
see you at one of my games,
yeah.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, they're
How did you find that game? Was it a good game?
It was a good game for a neutral, yeah. But
it was a good game for me, that, to be honest.
but no, the under 18s, I've watched them a good 3, 4, 5 times this season, and they do have some good players. And I know from speaking to obviously Steve Whitney and management team, they're all really young. They're 16, 15. Do you know what I mean? So that's even better for us as a club. Even better for us because there are some good players in there, and I've taken note of a couple of them. So.
And there's obviously like a very open pathway between the first team and the reserves, so obviously you'd like to push that onto the 18s as well, yeah.
Definitely.
What's the gaffer like there? Is he happy to let them come if you want them?
Yeah.
No comment.
Well, you can see your 18s again in 2 weeks' time because I believe they're playing at Kiln Park next Thursday.
Yeah, to be fair, when we get time, I say when we get time, usually after training, if we're only doing an hour on a Thursday.
It's definitely one to come watch. I've heard the opposition manager is a bit of an arsehole, so you'll definitely enjoy that game.
No, but he is good for
He's
the
quite well
18s.
known as well, this 18s manager of the opposition team. Very loud as well, yeah.
But no, he is good, and like you say, when we do get a chance, we're not lazy gaffers, we don't just sit on our arse all week, if we do get the opportunity to go and watch the reserves and the 18s, we will go have a look, and obviously Matt O'Connor in the reserves is doing a really good job.
I've got to give a big shout out to Matt because when we first came in, the resis were on
the verge of folding.
They were literally a centimetre away from folding, and to be fair, he came in. Has he managed a Saturday's team before?
No, he's just Sunday's manager at David Green.
Yeah, so he's brought in players and he's really steadied the ship there, and like I said, we were so close to folding the resis, which is not good for anyone, but he's done an absolutely fucking brilliant job, to be fair to him, so
and going on from that as well with the relationship with the reserves and first team, I mean, it's so good for us because we've had a couple of lads, Kurt Randall, Walk, who we've sent down to get game time, come back up and stepped up massively, so it shows that.
Totally stuck it to us, Walk, to be fair. Every time he's been on the pitch since I've been here, he's been absolutely class.
And that's the thing, younger lads nowadays, they think going down to the reserves is a bad thing, and it's not. It's like with Kurt, we'd rather him go down to the reserves and get minutes, and then rather than get 10 minutes with us, do you know what I mean? And he's done that, and he's starting every week now and putting in performances. So.
As Rourke told you the story how I tried to sign him in the summer, but he won't have a bar of it.
Yeah, because he said you would come.
He knows me too well.
And everyone loves the group at Raunds. I mean, the lads that have left, or a lot of lads that have left and come back, it's the group, and the group makes it, and it makes you want to stay. I mean, we've had players been offered a lot of money elsewhere, and they've chose to stay because they love their football here. So.
Good. So, you fancy yourselves obviously next year. Real Bedford not going to be out of the league. Who's going down? Do you reckon? Who's below you in the league?
Hang on a minute, did you just say you?
No.
We're not going down. We're not going down.
There's Holmer Green, Buckingham, London Tigers.
They've gone, haven't they? London Tigers, I think.
They won last night, so they're back in.
Did they?
Yeah, they won last night.
Yeah.
How many did they take with them? Was it like 6 or something?
But the gap is, I mean, I think from Russian High and even to Whitworth's to bottom of the table, there's 5-6 points in it. It's so tight.
Somebody I know made their debut for Russian High yesterday.
Who was that?
Callum Dench.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, Dench, who's a centre half stroke centre forward, yeah. That's the position you played in, mate. Centre half stroke centre forward.
Fix it only on Sundays.
Check him up front on Saturday.
Check my goal record on Sundays, I'll get myself a move.
That would have been a Kelvin Kwartang looks half decent on a Sunday in the field. He's a fucking first team goalkeeper.
That's what we've got 25 goals this season, isn't he?
Has he?
Kelvin.
Has he?
Something like that.
I'll tell you how he gets him. He bangs the ball forward and uses his pace to outwit everybody else. He don't do fucking nothing special. Nothing special at all. Just bangs it forward and just fucking hopes for the best.
He's playing about, isn't he?
To be fair, we play hungover mostly on Sundays.
Yeah.
I played at your pitch the other week. It's fucking horrible.
Yeah, that's where I rolled my ankle. I was
Yeah,
out for 5 weeks.
and the referee was fucking Sydney against first team manager. Collars me again.
Okay.
You've got George Anthony, haven't you, boys? Yeah. He was like, yeah, he likes you. He likes you if you try your coach.
Yeah, he's having a stinker season.
Yeah,
Just stay away from it. Needs a couple more years.
Who are you like playing for? You play Sunday League as well, didn't you?
Sunday League, yeah, we play for Latimer All Stars. Yeah.
Both of you, yeah.
Both of us,
Yeah.
And there's a couple of others from the club as well.
Yeah,
Corey played for you as well.
Beattie, Connor Cave in the reserves.
That's about it, isn't it?
Yeah, the Sundays are just unreal. I mean, the difference to a Saturday, we turn up about fucking 8 hours before, but on a Sunday it's literally...
It really is fucking 8 hours before, isn't it?
And on a Sunday it's funny because we rock up 10 minutes before, we're either hungover or half asleep, and the other team have been warming up for an hour. So, and we go and pop 6 past them, so...
But we always need the first 15 minutes of going to warm up, so we get peppered for the first 10.
Did you end up playing Battle Wanderers or?
I think we did.
I think we have played before.
Well, both fixtures?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, that's a shame, because if there was a reverse fixture, I'd make sure that I was involved, just kick fuck out of you two.
Yeah.
You wouldn't get near me, mate.
Ooh!
Fucking near me.
That sounds like a challenge.
I've seen you run, mate.
Hard but fair. Hang on a minute, I've played in the last couple of weeks for Batman. CDM I'll have you know. Shocking, but I was playing.
Obviously, before we move on then, I was just going to ask you about Sam here. What was the reason for bringing him in?
He's a prick. No, to be fair to Sam, well, obviously Dino was playing and I was doing the managing, and doing everything by myself. The warm up, team sheets, team talks. It was so draining, and I couldn't do it by myself. And obviously with Dino playing, we wanted him concentrating on playing because he's that good of a player. We just needed him focused on the game. So obviously bringing Sam in, he helps with training sessions. He helps with planning of the team. He does the little bits around the club like equipment, team sheets and stuff like that.
Set up the scouting system as
set
well.
up the scouting system. Do you know what I mean? He just brings that extra dimension to the team. And plus on the side as well. You always need someone to talk to on the side.
Yeah.
I'm turning around there, but before Sam was there, I was turning around. I'll know what to talk to you. You're alone with your own thoughts. Do you know what I mean? And you start questioning yourself. You're making the right decision. Whereas now I can talk to Sam, and I'll ask Sam something. He'll go, "No, that shit, don't do that." Or he'll say, "Yeah, no, I agree with you. Do that." It's an extra person to talk to. Do you know what I mean? So it's really good. And obviously Sam being Sam, I'm quite a nice person. Sam, like I said, is a prick.
Am I a nice person?
So he brings that nastiness. He'll be honest with the players. I'm honest as well, but he's honest. There is a difference. So
I think there's a particular right back at our club that doesn't particularly like me at the club side.
No, I think touching on Degger's points, it was something like we needed to do, and like you say, we're honest with ourselves. I think we did need that extra voice, and we turned around and said we weren't just going to bring in anyone on the street. You know what I mean? We needed someone who was going to come in and stick with us, sort of thing. And I think I'm actually going to be nice to Sam, but he has been massively good to us. And it's like you say, it's having that different opinion. Me and Degs have our own opinions, Sam has opinions. Like, we all bounce off each other really well, and we always come to an agreement on what we should do. And obviously Sam's experience within the game on the management side is definitely something that we needed. We didn't want someone to come in who's not really done anything. We wanted someone who's sort of been about and loves football. And that's the thing, when I first spoke, because I rang you, Sam, didn't I?
You did, yeah.
You can tell by when you ring someone how much they love football. If you're going to be involved in you have to love football. You can't half-arse it, and it's not a thing where in the week you can turn around on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and go, no, I can't be arsed. It's 7 days a week.
It's a full-time job. It is a full-time job, but a lot of people don't realise that. I didn't realise it until I started managing. Being a manager, probably any level, is a full-time job.
Difficult, yeah.
Getting players for training, planning training sessions, sorting the team out for a Saturday, you know.
It's even harder if you don't drive, gents.
Yeah.
2 hour bus to Raunds every fucking Saturday.
Sounds like a you problem, mate.
I picked him up for a podcast one day from a training session. He got a big fucking bag of balls.
Mate, I coach or train fucking 6 days a week. Man, I'm still a shit footballer. Man.
Have you two lads got your badges and that? Or are you doing them? Or?
Yeah, I got a level 2. Yeah, I'll be honest with you, probably not that interested in going for the next one.
No.
One, too expensive. I think that's a
Huge,
general problem with you know, not just our level but all levels in England. I think that's a massive problem. You know, I've seen statistics, you know, on Twitter and stuff, how many licensed coaches we have compared to Germany, Italy, Spain. It's
because it's pretty much half price in Spain to do the course that we need.
And it's no reason why.
Michael's over in Austria and he's done them all over there.
Yeah.
And he's not, well, I don't know how much it is, but he's not complaining about the price.
Yeah, literally, and that's the thing, like, even the level 2, I thought, fuck me, like, and I was
700 quid.
Yeah, I'd done it when I was,
now,
yeah,
500, yeah.
I'd done that when I was 18, and I thought, fucking hell, like, all the advice I would give when I was younger is do your coaching badge when you're young, but you get priced out of it, and it's no reason. You can see from all levels of football, it just affects the at the end of the day, it affects England at the top level. Do you know what I mean? There's a reason why Spain, France, all them sort of teams are fucking the dog's bollocks every year, all year. Like, we've got the golden generation at the minute, you know, the Harry Kanes and stuff like that. But after that,
Spurs fan.
yeah. But after that, you know, what's coming through? Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, and I think touched on that. I think like Mitch, obviously when he was on the podcast, made a very good point where you sort of anyone can sort of get through the badges, and
massively.
From our experience, it shows you don't need your badges to do a good job. Do you know what I mean? Obviously.
I'm going for a big fat no comment.
It does help. It does help. There's things on those courses where you know you look at, and I still use to this day. Like, I'll refer back to being on those courses, and I think I can use that. But it's like I listened to the whole podcast with Mitch Austin. What he said was bang on. Like, they just pass fucking anyone. Like, there was some, like, we're not being rude, there were some fucking idiots on my course, and I thought, you're never going to be any.
I don't think you can be any more controversial than Mitch was, mate.
Yeah,
honestly, you go for it.
Honestly, there's some people on there I thought, fucking, there is not a chance you could you know, run a fucking bath. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, but that's the problem with it. But you know, it does help. But like Dino said, you don't need them to be a manager, especially at this level.
Yeah, I think we've both obviously had experience in, you know, coaching before. Obviously, our company, I'm a sports coach and teach 4 days in a week in a school, and you know, you sort of use like little ideas, obviously, like taking them from, you know, the kids to this, and you enjoy it, like you enjoy what you're doing. I think Degger's going from the playing to management side, like he hasn't, obviously he misses playing, but you just love coaching and love, like, I think the best thing is when you put an idea together and it pays off and you finally getting rewarded for it. Because like I say, our last 2 games, like, you've had a game plan and you've lost 1-0 both games, and you're sort of sitting there like, fucking hell, like, it's just a massive kick in the teeth.
But it's a massive change from the beginning of the season, as you kind of were saying, losing 5 or 6 now, and now getting pissed off by losing 1-0.
Yeah,
it's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Because 1-0 6 months ago, you guys would be happy with 4-0.
Yeah, that's
not happy with it. Sorry, that's the wrong word.
Yeah, we'll take the goal difference.
Take the goal difference. But no, that is the difference between the start of the season and now. We lost 1-0 against third in the league on Saturday, and we were very, very disappointed. Whereas at the start of the season, we just came and the team talk would have been, fucking hell, lads, that's good going, that, you know, only 1-0. But now it's, fuck me, boys.
Mediocrity is not acceptable.
It's all about mentality. And like I said, I want to win every game. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, and I think, like, touching on that as well, I think the mentality side is so hard because, like I say, with Raunds, it's always been shit Raunds. So it's about trying to, like, turn the mentality of the lads, like, you are winners, you are going to be winners, and once, you know, 10, 11 people start believing that, everyone involved starts believing that, that's when you start winning games. And you know, from my experience, that's when you get the luck of the green. That's when on Saturday and Wednesday you nick a point or you nick 3 points and he doesn't cross that ball, and you know, Georgie, I saved that, to be honest.
You caused the shit in the first place.
I tipped that over the bar. Georgie, where you saved that? And when we've stayed up, I'm going in there. So
to be fair, the mentality that you guys have got in the dressing room is is different in a really positive way than I've seen before.
Yeah.
It's more of a case of when I first met you guys, we were playing against each other. I was at Urchin, and you obviously were in the cup against us. And I could see that the heads were dropping after like the goals were going in and the heads were dropping.
Yeah.
Now, that's not even a case anymore.
Yeah. No.
I don't see a single head drop, and if a head does drop, either yourself or trainer or Lovell, I need to call it Lovell again. Lovell will be on your case in a positive way, saying, "Come on, boys, fucking pull the finger up. Let's go.
Yeah, and that's literally the difference between having those younger, naive lads and having those older heads. I mean, if we're talking about young lads, Jamie Pickford, he's come in, every time he's come in, he's done a fucking good job. You know?
Yeah, he was class away. Where were we the other week?
Soccer.
Yeah, he was class there. To be fair.
And that's the thing, and there is that pathway from the 18s, you know.
Yeah, all the way through to the first team.
Yeah.
But the mentality thing is the hardest thing to teach. Like it's a really underlooked part of management.
And some of our youngers, it's really obvious that they've not got that so much at the minute with some of our youngers, I feel. But I think that will come with their experience. Some of the ones that are 17, 18, I think as soon as you get into the men's game, because they've only been playing one season, I think they're really...
Yeah, definitely. And it's, like you say, having that experience and being in situations where your back's against the wall for 15 minutes and not panicking, just getting your 2 banks of 4, getting your shape and defend. And, you know, it's about these lads being smart about it. I mean, I'm not gonna beat around the bush the last 3-4 years. Like, you have these young lads and your backs are against the wall and you panic and you don't keep in your shape, and 1 or 2 try go and steal the ball, and it creates that gap and that gap and that gap, and you stand there and you're like, what the fuck are we doing? Just sit in. And it's like you say, it's just teaching these lads, like, and I know it sounds so basic, but you see it from, you know, our level to levels above, and it's about getting that mentality into that, which I think is starting to come.
Oh, 100%. Since I've come in, I've seen a shift in mentality completely.
And
with some of the players that really weren't mentally in it are now very mentally ready to go.
Yeah, and with our run, I mean, we're sitting here now. If we're not sitting on 20 plus points by the end of the season, from now to the end, we will be disappointed. Our next run of games, we should be taking points every game.
Yeah. But look how your expectations shifted from the beginning of the season, where you just like, fuck me, we've just lost 9-0 to I expect 20 points.
Yeah, and I don't want people to sit here and think being, you know, aggressive, or, you know, we're just saying like we want, like we genuinely expect to get 20 plus points by those games, and like I just said, if we don't, I think, you know, us 3 sitting there, we will be disappointed.
Of course.
Yeah.
I put a post up earlier about some questions for yourselves.
Just got one.
That you know about.
Yeah.
Some of the other ones weren't quite so pleasant.
Obviously, one to you, Luke, was best fullback you've come up that you've played with. Sorry, I know what club. I think someone's after a bit of a shout.
So it was from Cam Monday.
Yeah.
Cam Monday is definitely the best right back I've ever played with.
Too old to get back in, or?
Yeah, well, no, I wouldn't say too old. He just loves the booze. Yeah, athletic, strong, good on the ball.
This is quite one of my best features here.
Yeah. Yeah, he's class. And everything I just said was a joke, so yeah. Best fullback I've ever played with. At what club? It's a toss-up probably between Conor Kennedy at Corby, when he played at Corby, and Callum Thomas at Corby as well. Callum Thomas was fucking brilliant, you know, strong, quick, everything you want.
Are you not saying Rio Thompson, man?
I mean, he has the biggest cock in Donley.
That's another podcast,
Yeah,
babies are holding up. He'll be loving the shout out, mate. He'll be getting all over his Snapchat, I'm telling you. They're disgusting at all.
Honestly, just don't let his man listen to
Come on, Rio's dad. Oh, mate, Rio's dad's lovely. Rio's dad is lovely. She peels fucking oranges for everybody at half time.
Yeah, nice, lovely.
And she's at every one of Rio's games.
Yeah.
Fair play. His
Georgie's
grandparents.
Georgie's
dad and grandparents. JP's dad, when JP plays, he's always there. So you know that's good. That is really good to have that support.
Good. Obviously, this is both of you, but it's the best player you've come up against.
I haven't played against me yet, George. It's fine.
I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to say as a player and as a manager.
As a player,
you go first.
yeah, I'll go first. As a player, I remember when I was at Corby, I played in the Hillier Cup, played against Kettering Town. I got thrown in at left back. I was 16. I played against Giovanni Brown, who's I think he's a pro now. He was fucking brilliant. I had my pants down first 15, and then I settled into the game. So yeah, Giovanni Brown. As a manager, probably have to have a think about that. I don't know.
Mate, I've got an answer straight away.
There's a couple. Probably Dan Walker from Real Bedford. Fucking guy's brilliant.
Do you not think that big striker, is it Bobo, the big striker for Rugby Borough? The very clever number 9.
I can't remember.
The big tall, like skinny
all
fella.
of rugby players' movement was fucking ridiculous.
Oh, well.
I couldn't see who was who, mate.
It's absolutely angel. They look like Man City, mate. Their number 9 was played at left back at one point. And you know, you just think, fuck me, we're on the sideline going, what formation are they playing in? We can't tell. They're just every fucking where.
I think from me, there's a couple, but one that stands out, Tendai Dare, I think he's at Harbour now. Funny story actually, one of the games, we were playing Lutterworth Town, I think he scored about 40 that season, and it was a corner. Gaffer's turned around, he's like, fucking double up on him. Honestly, this guy can jump. So me and Chuba have doubled up on him. They've hung one off, he's just gone fucking CR7, bang, 3-1 in the top corner, me and Chuba are standing there like, who's fucking man? Fucking guys up here, man.
God was a joke, honestly.
And just for the people that obviously don't know you, Dino, you're not exactly a fucking midget kid, are you?
No, 6'4", I think.
Yeah. How jumping you?
6'2", but honestly, that guy
4 inches of ears.
A little 5'5" when we read it.
Yeah, behave yourself.
That's supposed to say the best non-league ground that you've played at.
Ooh. Telford.
It ain't Amersham, is it?
No, Telford. Yeah.
Telford.
Telford in the
Do you know
conference,
what? I don't know. There's a couple that we've been to.
They played Diamonds, you like, didn't they? Telford.
No idea.
I see a picture, I'm sure it's there. I did see a picture of the ground.
I know they were
It's
sporting.
it's like a football league ground, honestly.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it wouldn't look out of place in League 2.
Do you know what? I'll give myself this one. Ben Watts, he was the manager when we first come in, and he ran Football CV Academy, and he invited, I think it was me and a lad called Zach Allen, down to the King Power to play.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was an empty stadium, but yeah, we played there.
You still play at the fucking stadium, kid, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. But no, it was a really good experience. Like, I think they had a few trialists and stuff with the Football CV. They do a lot. You walked in like the home dressing room, and that's like your name with the Football CV stuff.
Oh, that's nice.
Kit and that, and obviously you went out and played. And I was going on holiday the next day, so it was an absolute great weekend.
I think Sam ruined it, but I was going to say the worst non-league ground as well.
Oh, I'm sure there's more.
Fucking
Winslow.
Oh my god. Literally, you are cocked to arse
Yeah,
in the
literally.
showers.
You see how close we are here?
Oh, no, actually,
The
let's
shower's
roll this one back
really
again. The
nice.
shower, mate, is 3 shower heads and a fucking hose.
Yeah, and they all point in the middle, so
Yeah.
they all have to huddle in the middle to
Is
shower.
there any plug sockets?
No plug sockets.
No.
No.
Winslow is. Do you remember? So, me and Sam have turned up. We're just sitting outside. And I'm
Oh, this story, yeah.
having a pre-game meal, chogging a cigarette. And we've turned around, and what have we looked at? The away dugouts. Me and Sam were standing there. 2 people fucking dry humping on the away dugout. And I don't know if it's weird me and Sam standing there for 10 minutes.
No, what was weird is that we filmed it and put it in. That's what was weird.
But honestly, they were changing positions.
The old lady that walked past us.
Yeah, reverse cowgirl, fucking missionary.
Oh, the floor.
I think.
No, in the dugout!
In the
fucking dugout!
Honestly, I think that gives Sam a few fucking sticky bumps.
No, I didn't sit down for 90 minutes.
And the funny thing is, after that, they've just walked up and fucking, yeah, see you later.
That's why you don't like being alone. Fucking could be getting on with that.
That's why I started myself that game.
It was one of the weirdest things I've ever seen.
And that was my first ever game at this level as well. You know, when you think, fucking hell, is this what Dino Shit changed me, we've got 2 people shagging on the fucking bench. I totally forgot about that. No, Amersham is the worst ground, mate. As much as these guys say Winslow, Amersham, you have to go over the fucking road in a field full of fucking shit to train. But the home team gets to train on this tiny little bit of pitch right next to the pitch.
Yeah, to be fair, we did get a bit of action at Windsor, didn't we? So.
Yeah. I think Lovell running to the camera when he celebrated, that was the win, yeah.
Yeah.
The gaffer club in the back of the head when we scored. Yeah, fucking get pounded in the back, what's that?
The magic ball head, mate.
They rub it every fucking game, every last game.
It's like a bullet's belly. I was just going to say there as well, your best memory of your football career.
God, I don't know. That's a tough question. There was one game, must have been about 3 years ago, and Anstey Nomads, they were the top of Div 1. I remember they had a lad up top called Revo. Do you remember him?
Yeah, I do.
Fucking huge as fuck. So we went away there, we must have been sitting standard 1, 17th, 18th. They were top of the league. I think they lost 1 or 2 all season, and we went there and 1-2-1 away, and we're in the showers after. We had a lad called Ferdy, fucking covered in shower gel, literally down in a prony in the shower, beers everywhere. It was unbelievable. And I think games like that, when you go away to top of the league and win there, is, do you know what I mean? All the lads are buzzing, and it's like once, not once in a lifetime sort of thing. But for us, when we would, and back then, Raunds loads of young lads, so we would turn up to fucking Anstey like, wow. The other one, Egham in the Vars.
Yeah, that was a good day.
We turned up, there's like 5 of our lads having a cigarette before the game. Their lads look like fucking bodybuilders.
6'4" rugby players, mate. They walked out. When you walk out from the change rooms, I looked at our teams. I was on the bench that game, and fucking, he was a dwarf. Honestly, it was ridiculous, mate.
Scored that game,
yeah.
Scored
It is how I like
mine would probably be my debut in the conference. I was 16.
You haven't mentioned that.
No.
Whatsoever. How humble
How
of
many
you.
apps was it for?
4, mate, yeah, big 4. 4 more than most of the fuckers.
Why don't you use that in the dressing room, mate? Some of this stuff. How many games you played in the conference?
Exactly. No, but that game was away at Stalybridge on a Tuesday night. So Stalybridge is in Manchester.
It's a big game, yeah.
Obviously, Corby were near the bottom. I started on the bench. And then the centre half's gone down injured about 15 minutes in, and Tommy Wright's turned around and said, "You're on." I was like, "Fuck me, I didn't have my shin pads on, anything."
Some things don't change, then,
I know. So I fucking got ready. Come on.
But they in your car still, yeah.
Yeah. I came on. First thing they'd done, I was playing left back. Their left back stuck a diag over my head, and I thought, "Fuck me, this is ridiculous." And it was 1-1 at that point. We conceded to go 2-1 down, and it was half time. Ended up winning the game 3-2. And
obviously, your super sub made the difference, Bex, yeah.
All I'm saying is I started the move for the last goal. That's all I'm saying. a shank's clearance, yeah. And then Greg Mills, best player I've ever played with, Greg Mills, scored a hat-trick that day. That was definitely the best memory of my debut. I was 16, it was away on Tuesday night in Manchester. Fucking brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Was there loads of beers in a coach island, yeah?
No, we're all asleep.
Everyone at work the next day.
Any other questions there you wanted to get up?
I think I've asked my controversial questions already, yeah. Don't want to get in too much more trouble.
Obviously, game on Saturday, Tame reserves.
Massive.
Don't let the word reserved fool you.
No.
Do not let it fool you.
Well, I had a look for their first team and I can't find them.
Never know.
Yeah, I mean,
they a few leagues above, are they?
I mean, last time we played them, they had a lad playing centre half. He signed for Diamonds a couple of weeks later, Luke Massingham. So with your reserve teams like that, it's like someone just said that you can't put a name on it. I mean, they go. I think they went to Silby the other week and turned them over 4-2. So it's one of them ones. I mean, it's a massive.
You've only got one level at Silby, have I?
Exactly. But no, it's a massive game for us, and it's a game, like I said, the last 7-8 games, 20 plus points we're expecting.
Are you? So where are they in the league? I'm just having a look. Sorry.
What, Tame currently?
Bottom.
Yeah.
Below us, so that's where they are.
Yeah.
6 pointer, mate. 6 pointer.
Oh yeah, massive game. And London Tigers win, it has exit above them.
Yeah,
Game in hand as well.
Yeah.
So tight
I
down
thought
there,
it was
so
dead.
tight.
Yeah.
Like we won a couple of games a couple of weeks ago. They're sitting pretty, and then a couple of weeks later, you're right back in it.
It's the consistency, right? You need that consistency.
I was just going to touch on a few of the results there from the other leagues as well.
Do you know a bit about the other leagues, Jen?
Well,
we're busy fuckers.
While we want you, lads, obviously we'll touch on the Spartan there, run through them results. Ants Hill 1, Malton 1.
Now I think something's going on at Malton because they've had a poor run of results in the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Flying to begin with, flying, yeah.
Pumped us, didn't they?
Yeah,
Pumped too.
And they've dual registered a load of players from other clubs as well.
They've dropped right down, haven't they? They're 9th now. They were
They were
5th or
fine.
6th, weren't they, I think?
And they're under the management of Gary Petts, I believe, aren't they?
They are, yeah.
Good lad.
There's a bit of controversy about their Junior Cup game, isn't there?
Yeah, we're Russian. To be fair, I'm with Russian Heim on that. I think if
Funnily enough, Russian and High are on next week's podcast, discussing the
yeah.
very same question.
Yeah.
So, 80 man chairman, he's coming on next week.
Yeah, fair play to
When we said to him about coming on, he went, I want to have a rant about the FA. I said, no problem.
I mean, to be fair, the bit that I don't get is did the lad actually play the game? Because there's something about.
But the thing is, who did the lad play for? Was it Malton?
Yeah, he played for
Yeah.
Malton, and
So
where he already played in the
Yeah. So from what I understand, Malton aren't allowed to play him in their semi-final.
No.
So
answer me this from a player's point of view. If you've played in the cup this season, which I'm sure you both played in the cup prior to me coming in, you know you've played in them fucking cup games, surely. Like, you know that you play the Valves on the trophy. You know that
it's
you
your responsibility as a player.
Yeah, of course it is.
I did when I was at Corby. I was on loan at Rothwell Corinthians, and there was a massive hoo-ha about whether I played in the FA Cup or not. And I hadn't. I'd known I hadn't. But they obviously tried to make sure. But yeah, you know as a player, it's your responsibility.
Common
So
sense,
if you-
isn't it?
yeah.
Sure.
But haven't Malton been reinstated?
Yeah,
They have, yeah.
So what happened was they got told they'd been kicked out. Russian and Heim got told they're playing the semi-final now against Urchester. I think Malton have appealed it, got back in. Russian and Heim have been kicked out again.
And they're not allowed to appeal.
and yeah, without ground.
How have Malton won that?
Not sure, but Aides are coming on next week. He's going to tell us a lot more
fair
about
play.
it.
Of the AD.
Yeah. Give him fucking shit, AD.
We wanted to talk to him about his career, and he went, I ain't coming on unless I can. Yeah, no problem, Aidy. So you want
his career
Not get paid the cobblers or anything, mate. Let's go straight into the FA, yeah?
You got Whitworth's away at Burton, Park Wanderers 0-0. Massive result.
Got a couple of good players at Whitworth's.
I was good. That's it. Well,
Cairo Taylor's a class player. These guys know Cairo as well.
Good player. Very good player.
That Milton on Cube's a bit dodgy, isn't he?
yeah. Not very good on social media, is he?
No, it's not great, no.
To be fair, with all the money Burton are paying, I'm surprised they haven't won in Southern, to be honest.
They're paying big money, aren't
Well, no comment.
they? I was going to say, massive result. Holmwood Green losing at home to London Tigers.
Yeah, it's like you say, anyone can beat anyone in that league. I mean, we turn around and you think like, it's when Langford got points from Real Bedford, you sit there and you're like,
When Whitworth's got points at Real Bedford. We
give
were
us
all
a
watching the game, weren't we,
break.
on the stream? I'm sure you were watching. I'm sure you were watching as well.
yeah, it's just like, give us
The
a
pass back to the goalkeeper, yeah. Woo. Dear me.
Wait. Silby Rangers losing 3-0 at home to Real Bedford. This is what it is, isn't it? Bedford, they'll be gone next year in higher league, wouldn't they, surely?
Very good team, mate. Very good team.
Are they as good as? I mean, I know they're paying massive money.
Yeah, and
No,
I just
they're
want
as
to
good as people say.
Yeah, I just want to say on the management side, Rob's been really good with us, and I think one thing that Mitch touched on, especially with managers, we don't really speak to anyone, and I think nowadays, obviously not been in managing long, but everyone's in it for themselves. But Rob's been really good with us, and if we've asked for info for other teams, he always sends us a massive paragraph giving us info and stuff. So big thank you.
I think it all depends on the person themselves, because in regards to like 18s level, I pretty much get on with, I wouldn't say get on with most managers, but I have a working relationship with most managers at that level.
Yeah, I feel there's only two there in the league. Silby, the assistant there, he's a good lad, and then obviously the lad, but other than that,
I think George at Chen's is not too bad when I've asked him for information and he's kind of passed it on to us. He's a good lad.
He's obviously not a gaffer though, is he? He's just...
Well, it's enough, mate. It's enough information that we need, isn't it?
Yeah. Winslow, Russian Home United 1-1.
I bet it was a Geordie man free kick. Very
The
much.
guy's unbelievable at free kicks, isn't he?
Were we all watching it all when he scored it against us? Because me as a gaffer was standing behind him, just watching it. Fuck, that's a great goal.
You just have to clap save that.
I claim that. I'm just... Cheers, Keeps.
Oh, yeah.
I assume that's AD's son, is it?
Yeah, I think so.
And there's another one playing for him as well.
The goalkeeper.
Is it the keeper? Is it? Yeah. You assume that's his son as well.
I don't know.
We'll find out next week.
I'm sure, yeah.
Rugby Borough 4-0 away at Anthill. That was in midweek, wasn't it?
Yeah. Good result that for rugby.
They're flying as well. How far were they off Real Bedford, do you reckon? Are they?
Too far off to catch him.
Obviously to catch them, but standard wise, they're
Great side.
Yeah. I mean, I think apart from Real Bedford, they're definitely the team.
Next best thing.
Yeah, next best thing. If
When they
Real
came to us,
Real Bedford weren't in the league, rugby would have absolutely stolen
Oh,
it.
God, yeah.
The movement, the quality, the fitness, everything was there. So.
To be fair, their gaffer, Carts, Dan Carter, wherever he's gone, they seem to, even when he was at Buckby, they'll fly in.
I've heard rumours that he's looking local. Is it Dan Carter, yeah?
I'm pretty sure that's his name,
Yeah, I've heard rumours that he might be looking local.
Does he want the wrong shot?
Probably not.
Burton Park again midweek, 2-2 Holm Green. Langford 1-0 at Buckingham. Silby beating Lutterworth away.
Was that last night?
This was midweek. This is last Wednesday, last Tuesday. Malton beat Tame, obviously they're bottom of the league. Russian Highland 5-0 against Real Bedford. And then your game as well, Ian Soccer, do you want to touch on that or not?
Much the same as Saturday, really.
Bare bones as well.
Bare bones squad. We had me on the bench and we had new signing Kenny on the bench. And Tyron Conde's been out for a few weeks.
Talk to Jordan about the pitch there, gents. What was the pitch like?
Ian Soccer.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it was the best.
It was like a fucking wavy sea, mate. You stood at one end and you couldn't see the fucking top of somebody's head at the other end.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
Yeah. That was another game where, you take your chances, you come away with something from the game, didn't take the chances, didn't come away with anything, so, yeah. and another one of those where a few months ago we would have lost 4-0, do you know what I mean?
Tom was very humble though.
Is he still gaffer?
He is still gaffer, yeah.
He's out there, Ian Soccer's gaffer.
Yeah,
he's a
good
good
lad.
lad.
Yeah.
I spoke to him after, really good lad.
The one thing though, the hospitality is like fucking World War II bunker, mate.
Is it?
Yeah, it looks like proper 60s, 70s type of stuff going on.
Yeah.
Got fish and chips there, so.
They did get no, mate, it was sausage and chips, and me and them were in the car, don't worry about it.
You had normal sausage in the car?
Oh god, I'm gonna fucking regret that comment already.
I was just going to run through a few UCL results as well.
Yeah, let's do that one. Let's do it.
Don't get sausage and chips in the UCL.
That's all you get in the fucking UCL.
Cookno winning last night, big result for them again.
It's because Biff has brought in 2 ex-Cobblers players or 2 current Cobblers players, isn't he?
They look good, didn't they? That Curry scored in the last game as well before that, didn't he? Gold Manchester Rovers against Oadby was postponed. Coventry Sphinx, I mean they're winning, then flying at the top, and they beating Longbuck with 5-1. Wellingborough Town 2-all.
I think Longbuck are struggling though at the current time, aren't they?
They are, yeah. I think they.
Are they folded?
I think they'll probably go down to step 7.
I think my understanding is
that,
I think my understanding is that they're not putting out a men's team next season. I think they're just doing lower age groups due to lack of volunteers, unfortunately.
Has Liam got the job over there? No.
I don't know. I don't know. He's a friend of Jordan from a previous podcast.
Are you trying to sign Charlie Whip? I mean, I'll class it as an illegal approach. 7 days in. But yeah, he turned around and he's like, no, no Dino, so I'm going to leave you alone. That was a bit like that.
Oh. Yeah. Interesting.
So Jordan, if you had that falling out, let me know, I can sort you out.
I don't know if he listens anymore.
Of course he listens, Jordan. You're a successful podcast, young man.
Wellingborough Town away at Newport Pagnell last night 2-2. They done well there. I think they were 2-1 up, 1-0 up, and then 2-0 up, 2-1 up. Sorry.
Jake Stone's got Wellingborough Town playing really well.
Yeah, it was the 91st minute equaliser. So
I think there's a bit of a budget going on at Wellingborough as well, to be fair. So I think probably if you've got a bit of a budget, you can entice the better players.
Yeah, no, Jake's another one as well. In terms of like managers, he's been really good to us as well. Like we've asked him for a couple of lads, and it was a couple of months ago when he did a friendly on a Wednesday night, and you know they helped with the officials and stuff, and you know he's another one there that we respect quite a lot, and you know if anyone helps us out, we'll be there to help them out. So yeah.
I need another result to stick out for you. I was going to touch on the Wellingborough Town midweek losing to Budbrook. Obviously 2 local teams there. Great result for Budbrook.
Good player at Budbrook called Kevin Sheehan. Used to be at Urchie or dual registered with Urchie. Very good player. Very young but very, very talented.
Desborough Town obviously winning at Lutterworth as well. Good result for them, yeah. Wrong end of the table, they're going to be climbing, hopefully. I mean, everyone that seems to play against them tells us they've got the quality to. They're at the wrong end of the table, so fair play to them.
Sounds like rules.
Combination, Urchie, what were they? 8 games unbeaten?
I don't know, mate. I don't catch up with Urchie anymore. I've changed clubs.
I think they've been flying. I think it's 8 games. I think 8 wins, sorry. And Corby, Stripmills come to Urchie.
Urchie have got a great goalkeeper though. I've heard he's got a very good goalkeeping coach.
Yeah, obviously. Goalkeeping coach? I thought you were about the keeper.
No, he does one-to-ones with a really good coach, the Urchester keeper. So I think he's doing quite well this season.
Is he?
Yeah.
I don't know if you're taking a piss or not.
No, he's outside of football coach. He's an amazing coach.
No,
Yeah, really good. Can find good players like his brother that go to other clubs. Very good coach.
Midweek though, they did win 6-0 against Corby yesterday away.
Yeah, that was a Levon Stewart hat-trick, wasn't it?
Was it?
Yeah, he's a thorn in my fucking side, Levon Stewart, because I tried to sign him as well, but he didn't want to fucking bower of it. So here he is scoring goals for Urchie's first team. Scored 3 against me 2 weeks ago for Budbrooks under 18s now.
Yeah. Harpole 2-0 winners against Hayford.
Got some good players there. Fellow that plays at Balwyn, I'm not going to name any names because hopefully he knows who he is. I'm trying to sign him, so hopefully he'll listen to the podcast and listen to Deggers and Dino and hopefully buy into what they're selling.
Yeah, I've only heard good things about him to be honest. But and then the other game I wanted to touch on there was Blisworth Kitchen Nomads, second semi-final between the 2 teams in 2 weeks, and Blisworth coming out on top again 3-2. So. I think Blisworth 2 finals now, so...
Was it your man, Niall Duffy? Scored by any chance?
Was it? I'm not sure, I don't know.
I don't know, I was asking you, George, because I think you're his number 1 fan, aren't you?
Nah, he's a top player.
Got a shirt with Duffy on the back as well, yeah?
Oh, fucking, not yet. Not yet. But if he wants to have our shirt behind us...
No chance. No.
If he wants a orange shirt.
Sam don't like him, I don't think he's any good. But
what can I say? I scouted him a couple of times, he's just not turned it on when I'm there.
Probably put off for that beard.
How dare you?
A couple of other games I just want to touch on. Obviously, our sponsor, Mitch Austin at Harbour Town, they won 1-0 back to winning ways. They're up to 8th in the league now.
But as Mitch said, that's not good enough for him, is it?
He's not happy, is he? But they've got Spalding on Saturday. We see Spalding the other night against Dav.
Oh, we did, yeah?
Yeah,
we did, yeah.
Fucking ripped into pieces.
They did, yeah. Was it 9-0 by the time we left?
It was, yeah. It was. I have got the video of that banger, that goal, to make it 6-0, remember?
Just the fucking peach! Oh, you should watch that. It's from a centre half as well.
Did Elliot sub himself on?
No.
Didn't play. It was Sam Warburton, you know Ray Warburton, the ex-Russian and Diamonds player, son that scored the winner.
Yeah, when we were at Corby, we played with Sam and...
I've got it on my phone.
It was a fucking worldie from about 35 yards.
It's a screamer. And we were right behind it, weren't we, as well? And it fucking just...
I think we've got his dad coming on the show quite soon as well, haven't we?
Yeah, Wolves was class.
And then, obviously, Davtown, because we're friends with them. We'll get their result in, but that was 4-0.
I'm not friends with them. I've got them on Thursday in the racing.
I'm not friends with them. Friends with the podcast.
I'll be friends after.
Yeah,
just not before. I was friends with Anthony White on Saturday, but I wasn't friends during the game.
In general, we're friends. Not about it. Anything else you want to touch on?
Me personally.
There was one thing actually, no, so Saturday is non-league day.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if there's no Prem football on, England playing Italy, who cares about that shit? Get yourself...
games tomorrow night, mate. Tonight, Ireland will play tonight.
Yeah. That's fucking be a struggle, though, isn't it?
Behave
It's
yourself.
Latvia, is it?
Behave yourself, so.
No, but get yourself down to the non-league game.
No, not just any non-league game. Get yourself down to Kiln Park at 3 o'clock.
Yeah, go on, Sam will get you in for nothing.
Debatable, I don't even get you in for nothing.
No, Sam will get you in for, how was it? Give us ticket prices.
Boys, what are the ticket prices?
£5 adult,
£6
adult,
Free
concessions.
Free concessions.
I'm glad you said.
Under 16's free.
Yeah.
It's okay, James, don't worry, we'll put it on the podcast.
Lads, thanks for coming on.
No, one pleasure.
We'll share all your socials, try to get you a sponsor as well, get as many people down there Saturday as we can.
So obviously just to confirm it's Thames United on Saturday at 3 o'clock.
Kiln Park, yeah.
I appreciate it. Obviously, want to thank our sponsor as well, the Fibre Group. But thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week. Cheers.